My supreme namaskarams to all of you and best wishes to the youngsters. We have been discussing about fundamental rights and discussed finally about various rights under Article 14 to 18. Now we discuss the most important articles and part 3 fundamental rights about right to freedom and protection of life and personal liberty. So far as right to freedom is concerned, we know that generally speaking all citizens have right to freedom of speech and expression. About that we know very well, and all other rights to move freely, peacefully, without arms, and to form associations or unions, or to move freely throughout the territory of India, and to reside and settle any part of the territory of India, to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. These rights we discussed in previous class also, and there are certain restrictions while enjoying those rights. About all these things we already discussed in previous class. Now we'll see Article 20 and 21, which are very important and which protects our life and personal liberty and which makes a person not to be punished twice. Article 20 deals with protection in respect of conviction for offences. What it says is, unless and until there is violation of law by any person, that person shall not be convicted of any offence. And that particular law also must be in force at the time of the commission of the act charged as an offence. So, an offence, if is committed, how to decide? You have to see when any allegation is there about committing of an offence before conviction of that person, that whether there is any violation of law in force at the time of commission of the act charged as an offence. Likewise, that person who is convicted also shall not be subjected to a penalty greater than that which might have been inflicted under the law in force at the time of commission of the offence. Suppose by the date of commission of offence, if there is no law stating that particular offence, if committed on the date, is punishable, or there is no provision for punishment for that offence contemplated or created or explained or defined, then that no person shall be deprived or convicted for the said offence with which he is charged. So, you can't convict a person by making a particular act as an offence subsequent to commission of that offence. So, there must be a law in force at the time of commencement of the offence. You have to see what is the law and whether that law is in force. If that law is in force, then is there any violation of that law? If there is violation of law, then you can convict that person. Not only that, you also not entitled to impose a penalty greater than that which might have been inflicted under the law in force at the time of the commission of the offence. What was the punishment that was provided or defined in the law for giving as a penalty to that person who committed the offence at the time of commission of the offence? To that extent only you are entitled to impose the penalty, not more than that, not greater than that. This is Article 20. So you can understand this article in a simple way, that to convict a person for violation of any offence, you must see that a particular law was there by the date of committing the offence, and there is violation of that particular law. Not only that, if you are charged with an offence, then you can claim that the punishment that was provided under the Act as on the date of commission of offence only can be imposed, not greater than that. This is Article 20, Clause 1. Then the second is, if a person is convicted of an offence once, he shall not be convicted for that offence again and give punishment to that person. So, for one offence, only one time punishment be given. You can't impose punishment repeatedly by convicting that person repeatedly. If there is a conviction once, then that conviction and the punishment after prosecution of that person and conviction of that person for that offence, if given, that's enough. You can't for the same offence give punishment or even entitled to prosecute for that offence. If a person is prosecuted for committing an offence once, then he is punished. There ends. He can't be prosecuted and punished once again for the same offence. If that person repeats the offence, then you can again prosecute that person and give punishment. If the offence is committed by that person by violation of the law in force, then he can be prosecuted and punished. There ends. You can't again prosecute and punish that person for the same offence. This is what Article 20, Clause 2. Then another important article is, most of the time the police violate this particular Article 20, Clause 3 is, no person accused of any offence shall be compelled to be a witness against himself. If I commit an offence, I shall not be compelled to speak against me as a witness for the offence alleged to have been committed by me. So, you can't compel me to give evidence as a witness against me. So, any person cannot be compelled to be a witness against himself. These three are very important. In the light of these three articles, one article and three clauses, we have to go and understand Article 21. So, three rights are there. If a person is charged with committing of an offence, he can be prosecuted and punished if the law is in force, and once he is prosecuted and punished, he can't be again punished, and also you can't impose a penalty greater than the one that was in force as per law at the time of commission of the offence. Then you can't compel a person to give evidence as a witness against himself. If you do it, then it is violative of the Article 21 to 3.